Welcome to the Day Clean Devotion Queen podcast. Our podcast episodes breathe life into selected themes from the DDQ Meditation Journal. Hosted by our founder, Najma Thomas, we engage in heartfelt discussions with a diverse roster of inspirational Queen sisters. We explore their unique perspectives, uncover the wisdoms shaped by their journeys, and celebrate the trials and victories along the way. Together, we are creating a woe manifestation space where conversation meets examination and sparks transformation. So welcome back. Welcome back to the Day Clean Devotion Queen podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much to our guest, Keisha, who I'm going to introduce in just a minute. We introduced the theme for the first season in our 2026 podcast series a couple of weeks ago, and it's called Conversion Conversations. So for those of you who didn't listen to the first episode, it's not conversion like someone trying to recruit you to a new religion. Okay, so don't run away, QueenSiS. But we're talking about conversion like changing directions with intention. We're talking about, and we're talking with healing claimers, boundary shifters, career changers, rerouters, women who realize this aspect of my life no longer fits me and I can change it. That's Conversion Conversations. And today's guest is someone whose work sits at a powerful intersection of food systems and equity and community care. And she's someone who's recently made a major career shift. So I am just honored to be joined by Keisha Rainey. Keisha, again, QueenSiS, thank you so much for hanging out with us a little bit for the podcast.
I am so excited. So thank you for asking. I've been
Absolutely.
waiting. Just kidding.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So just for the particulars, folks, for those of you who are not already familiar with this wonderful woman, Wonder Woman, Keisha is a food systems leader and owner of Roots and Rain LLC. This is a firm dedicated to supporting organizations and women and historically impacted farmers through training, collaboration, and access to critical resources. Keisha holds a degree in business from Newberry College. She's a graduate of Clemson University's Palmetto PLEAF, PLEAF
Yeah.
program. And this is where she deepened her expertise in agricultural leadership and food system development. Keisha has trained more than 1,000 producers on USDA food safety guidelines. I've enjoyed some of her food safety training, guided hundreds through successful audits, and developed food safety plans and value-added product curriculum. And all of this to help farmers build sustainable, consumer-centered operations. Keisha's a true leader and advocate in the field, pun intended. She serves as vice president for the best organization in the state of South Carolina, the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition. And she is helping to shape policies that advance equitable access to land and resources all across the state of South Carolina. So this is who we're talking to today, y'all. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is the wonderful face that you're seeing. Keisha brings deep expertise, a justice-centered lens, and genuine love for family and community. And I could say that from experience, like it's genuine love that you experience when you're in the building with Miss Keisha. And like I mentioned earlier, it's been a while since we had a chance to catch up, since making these big shifts. So
Yes.
I'm so excited to share with you for this podcast episode and see what's been going on in your life, Keisha.
Ooh, it's been a year.
Oh my goodness, it's been a year. And so let's get right into it. I'm gonna open the conversation with our opening question. What's your day clean routine? How do you get your morning started?
Oh, I love this question. I was thinking about this question a lot, and I've heard so many great answers to this question. And the only way I know how to be is truly authentic. So, I still have a teenager in the house.
Yeah.
So I sleep until the very last minute. I let my body do the talking. So sometimes I'm up at 6, sometimes I'm up at 7. And then once I get up, I have the house kind of quiet to myself just to kind of let my brain open up and my body get ready for the day and put on some coffee, drink some water. Then the house wakes up. So the teenager's up. The boo-boo's up, the dog is up, and everybody's, doing their morning routine. And then everybody leaves, except for me and the dog. So then it's peace and it's quiet, which is nice. And then I start my Bible study. So I've been trying to work myself through the Bible little by little. Been doing that for a few years now because it's not an easy feat.
Oh,
Um, it's a lot to learn and I have a
a
lot of
lot.
questions. And then I look at the schedule for the day, and that's kind of where I decide, like, okay, no more today. Like, you've done it. Because I really like to be done by 4 o'clock, because that's when everybody comes home. And that's
Hmm.
when I want to be engaged and intentional in the house. So, I know that like if the day is full, no extra meetings, no extra phone calls, no extra distractions. If the day is light, then I'm like, okay, I may could squeeze this in or squeeze that in. But really, it's different every morning.
Yeah. Yeah. But I hear that you have this the space that you can create before and after the house wakes up.
Exactly.
That settling in to get your day situated and
Exactly.
however it's going to go, you still have that opportunity to settle the space for
Just
yourself.
a little bit. And I
Mhm.
also know that, like, Timmy will be a senior next year. So I am soaking up these mornings of getting on the bus and just doing all of these things because this chapter is ending soon. And he'll probably be driving to school next year. And so I just know that that independence is kind of shifting. So I'm happy to soak it up, have a little chaos, morning chaos, then a little
Yeah,
quiet because it's going to look so much different in a year's time.
it's you're gonna blink and it's gonna be a whole new kind of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
The time with the wings, my goodness. Oh,
My
thank you for
heartbeat.
that. Yeah, it is. It really it is that quick. So
Yeah.
I love that you're able to be intentional in that way and really soak it in, like you
Hmm.
said. So I alluded to this. You made some major career shifts and
Yes.
leadership shifts in the
Yes.
past year. So I'm meeting you kind of new since the last time we really had an opportunity to sit down. So this is a really authentic question for you and I in this moment,
Yes.
as well as the larger conversion conversation question. So when people meet you, who are they meeting now? When they
Oh,
meet you,
wow.
are
This
you?
Keisha is a whole different vibe, and I love her. I love all
Ah!
versions of Keisha. Some versions of Keisha, I wish I could just sit down and be like, girl, what were you thinking? But that's a part of your growth, right? It's a part of
Absolutely.
your journey. It's a part of what your character is and what it makes you you. But this Keisha is so humble and grateful and just I feel like people aren't just meeting Keisha Roots and Rain, but I feel like they're meeting everything that I've aimed to represent. Every farmer conversation, every organization that I've ever worked for. They're just meeting somebody who has been blessed enough to be on kind of both sides of the coin, be able and then be invited into spaces that not many of us get invited into and don't have a voice into. And so I feel like they're meeting this dynamic leader, is which is what I hope people feel like they're meeting.
Yes.
But that's my self-talk. So I'm gonna say it that I feel like they're just meeting somebody who's dynamic and representing something much bigger than herself, much bigger than I thought Roots and Rain was going to turn into in a year's time. And so now they're just meeting this person who can't be told what to do unfortunately, that part of me is just kind of gone. Really setting her boundaries, have learned about boundaries and how important they are, have learned about how important it is to be selective about your network and your space and your people. You don't need everybody, the masses. And so you're just meeting somebody who knows that,
Mm.
who is very particular about who gets introduced to her network and her people and a little bit of gatekeeping there. And I'm okay with that because it's my name, it's my reputation, but it's also who I'm representing. And so I feel like you're just meeting this very dynamic person now with a little bit of maybe a little bit more swagger.
Well, I hear having known you, and I will say, for folks who were not familiar with you
Hmm.
pre-Queen's reign, you were a dynamic leader. You were a force to be reckoned with. But I am hearing a lot more swagger. I am hearing the boss come out. I'm seeing
Yeah,
I'm going to be real selective and real intentional, and you're able to sort of focus on the things that I heard you talk about before, wanting to do, wanting
right.
to amplify, and now you are doing it.
Which
And
is insane.
and it
It's
is making such
insane.
a such an incredible impact too. And like you said, 12 months. What a difference.
I don't even understand how it happened in 12. Everything happened so fast.
Hmm.
Everything, it was like I started praying about this position of impact. I started having conversations. I remember going to Jason and being like, this is what I want to do. And Jason's like, do it. Like, it wasn't like, well, his only thing was, okay, I don't know how you make money in that, but this is your world. So I'm gonna follow you in that leadership because I trust you and I know what you mean to this state and the agricultural space. And so, yeah, I mean, it just completely lifted. And then it was like, okay, I'm starting the LLC. I'm putting in my notice. And once I put in my month notice, like
It got
I'm
real.
on my own.
It got real.
And when that September 13th date hit of my last day of work, I took the weekend to just celebrate because it was happening. And then Monday was like, this is it. Like you're on your own. And not a month later, I was getting a call to be the vice president of the coalition. I was getting a call to do a speaking engagement in Boston. I was getting these calls left and right. And I was like, what is happening? So much so that I couldn't keep up. Like I was keeping up. I was figuring it out. But I was like, I cannot believe this is the first year. And that I feel like is what is just most motivates me each day. Like that first year was the benchmark to say, like, you can do it because you are backed by awesome people.
Yeah.
People feel like they need your service. People are paying, thank you God.
Yes,
I'm
that
sustained.
part.
And so yeah, I cannot believe it's been a year.
I love for you not only that your partner, your boo, your hubby had faith in your vision, but I love for you that you had faith in your vision. That you said, I know this field. I know what I bring to this field. I know what people need, and
Yeah.
I know that they will pay for what I'm bringing to the table. And I know I can do it. And you did it.
I
That I
just
love
did
that
it.
for you.
I just did. Well, too, at that point in time, I was like in this career lull where I was like not happy and settled where I was.
Yeah, talk a
And
little bit
then,
about that.
yeah, like I just felt like I get this itch. It happens to me all the time where I'm like, what's next? It's time to
Mhm.
make some sort of shift. And so, I was in the space working for a nonprofit and just felt like, I'm not doing it the way I want to do it. Like what I wanted to do was focus on South Carolina agriculture as a whole. I
Mhm.
was kind of split between a couple states. What
Yeah.
I really wanted to do was zone in on Black agriculture and farmers and what they're saying. what they've repeatedly said and never gotten any kind of leeway with, or whatever the case may be. And so I was like, I need a job that's going to help me do that. Well, that job was like not out there. I was looking, I was like, I don't see it. And I don't want to be told no, or I don't want to be siloed into what I'm doing. I don't want to be attached to projects for years at a time just because of money that don't fulfill me, because I'm utilizing my time to do that. And, we only get so much time on this earth. So,
Right.
that is kind of that motivator where it was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to build it. Like if it's not out there,
We got to make it.
then I have to make it. And that's really where Roots and Rain comes in. Like all of that I'm rooted in is each root is significant to each person that I'm connected to, each farmer that I'm connected to, each network. Like it all was in the right time. I've only been in this space since 2019 when I started with the
Only.
Department of Ag.
Only.
Only. So
But
to
doing
go from
double
like
work and triple impact work in each of those years is how I would describe it in
I
each of
mean, that's
those
a
years.
beautiful way to describe it, honestly.
Hmm.
I remember starting with the department back in 2019 and telling somebody, like, I'll be a supervisor in like a year's time, 2 years. And I remember that person who was a supervisor at the time basically saying, like, that's a great goal, but like, it's kind of hard here, right? Because, it takes years and years to get there. And I'm like, well, you've never met me before
You
because
don't know me.
I don't want to hear that. And the crazy thing is that I applied for a promotion in my third year. I did not get the promotion, and I'm so glad I didn't. At the time, I wasn't happy, but I am glad that God was like, no, this cannot be where you get off on this train and just sit and do this for the next 20, 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
I'm utilizing you in a different way. And so as
Mhm.
hard as it was to walk away from certain things, and when you're walking away and not really knowing what the next steps are in your career that you're trying to make an impact in, like that whole time between 2019 and when Roots and Rain opened, it was just kind of like I'm gonna keep going and pushing, even though I feel a little sad, even though I feel a little like I'm not doing how I want to do, even though I didn't get the promotion, all of these things. And it was like, but that's because there was a bigger plan on the other side. So if you just
Whole
be
different.
patient, which I don't know how to do, and I'm learning it, you'll get there.
Right. When we're all learning that. We're all learning the patience piece.
Yes.
But I appreciate how you said, listen, I'm I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but there's something else for me, and it's a
Mhm.
completely different kind of path for me to be able to be impactful. And then
Right.
kept that dream, kept that intention, and kept working around that space. And here you are. I want to talk about the here you are, right? This
Okay.
this first year. And thank you for being so transparent about the process of getting to this, because a lot of folks,
Yeah.
sometimes we hear, "Oh, I started my own firm and now I'm doing good and it's popping," and that it ain't.
It's not always popping.
It's not always private, and we do have to like really carefully consider, is am I going to be able to sustain myself and my family, my responsibilities for my family?
Right.
So we don't want to like, have some kind of pie in the sky conversation. Folks listening, like this is what it is. It's not.
Mm-mm.
So talk to us about that first year of running your firm full time. What kind of beliefs about productivity and sacrifice, worth, net worth, pricing, all of the things what did you have to unlearn this past year?
I think there was two things. I think it was you can take in everybody's advice and listen to what everybody's saying, but you don't have to utilize everybody's advice. I feel like it's a lot. Similar to like motherhood. When somebody is about to have a baby and everybody's, you should do this. Don't hold that baby. Don't you let whatever. And it's like it has to be your journey, and it's okay to take in some of those things, but ultimately it has to be your journey. And so I
Mm.
think I had to remind myself of that. Like this was great advice. That was a good little nugget, but I don't take it all in because this is what Roots and Rain, what does it look like from Keisha's perspective? If I utilize too much of everybody's advice, it's not going to be mine anymore, right?
Yeah.
And so, and it's like, well, I wouldn't do that because that's risky. But I'm like, okay, to you, yes. But to me, I see it as an opportunity. And so there was those self conversations. And then
Mhm.
it was this idea, people say you hustle and you sleep when you're dead. I'm going to sleep at a certain time.
Let's lean in and we're going to sleep.
I don't like, of
We're
course you're
gonna
going to sleep
rest.
when you're dead because there's nothing else for you to do, boo, at that point. I don't
It's
I don't
crazy.
want that mentality. I don't want to hustle. Like my family, my outside life of work is extremely important to me. I mean, these are the foundation of who Keisha is. And so I don't want to lose that. I don't want to be so engulfed into this work. I love my job and what I do.
Sure, sure.
But there's also two sides of me, right? It's that front facing, that worker, but there's also the mom, there's also the wife, there's also all of these other levels to me. And so, I just had to separate that. And that's why I said, like, Mondays I take no meetings and I'm off at 4 and I do what I can in a day and then I close it down and then I'm moving on to the next thing. And so like these ideas that you need to be hustling and grinding and you're not in it. Like I can hustle and grind hard from 9 to 4.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
after
There you
that,
go. It's a good
I'm
hustle and
going
grind,
to
period.
I'm right. We're gonna grind and then that's it. And to take care of myself, like listen to my body. Like if I just want to get on the couch with a book, don't feel guilty about taking that time for yourself. There's so much weird guilt out there. And I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, if I email this person, they're not going to email me back right away because they're doing whatever they need to do.
Right,
It's
right.
all going to happen because
Hopefully they
hopefully.
are.
And
Hopefully
if
they are.
not, I mean, that's all, it was a great conversation.
Yeah, yeah. There you
So I
go.
think those are the two main things is like, in that first year, remembering like you started, one of the reasons why you started this is so you could run the show how you wanted to. So, like,
Yes.
stick very true to that. And then, two, rest and shut it down and don't say yes to everything. Because you're only one person. So, you can't be all of these things all of the time to everybody. And especially because I'm very serious about quality work, don't care so much about quantity. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I only get one a day at a time. So I can only focus on what's happening today. And so I don't need all the contracts, all the work to be in all of the rooms, go to all the conferences. Because I can't give quality that way. And
Right.
that's what I'm more focused on at this point in time.
Oh my goodness. I just appreciate that all of what you just shared, but that last little bit about not having to get all of the contracts or go to all of the conferences. I feel, we've been in this space together for a while, and,
Yes.
and sometimes you feel a sense of like guilt. Oh, I couldn't go to this conference or that conference, and I'm not being
Yeah.
supportive. But the truth of the matter is, if you show up to all of these things in just like little bits and pieces, what are you really giving to that? What are you really getting out of it? So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like, and because it's like, okay, I'm getting several business cards. I'm taking emails while I'm listening to this session.
I'm in the same.
I'm in the session. I'm not listening to the session, but my body was there.
Right, right. No, I love that. Death to the whole double booked, excessive meeting schedule. I just love that for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to take a little bit of that energy for myself. Okay.
Please.
And speaking of things I love for you, I love this role for you with SCBFC. I'm personally attached to SCBFC and
Yes.
personally so grateful to see you flourishing in the role as Vice President for the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition. So you stepped into this also while choosing entrepreneurship. How do you hold responsibility without returning to this feeling of disenchantment or burnout or doing too much? How are you managing it?
I'm going to tell a small story, which is I met you and Daryl at the Resource Rodeo,
That's right.
2000-ish, 21, 22-ish maybe.
21-ish, 22-ish.
Something in there. And
Uh-huh.
I don't think I was as familiar with the Black Farmers Coalition at
Okay.
that time. And I remember y'all walked in the room as smooth as y'all always do. And y'all went and set up your table. And then y'all got on the microphone and even said, like, you were looking for steering committee members. And I was like, went up to y'all and said, like, how do I join? And you're like, gave me the information. I emailed my boss that day while we were in the room and said, will you pay for me to be a part of the Black Farmers Coalition? I posed it as leverage for organizations, but really it was like, I want to be in
Yeah.
this space. And so I remember getting on the steering committee and like after, and the only thing I said to myself is like, I just want to go and just listen. I want to hear what they are saying are the issues, are the problems, what their needs are, and just see how we can fill in those gaps. And when I say we, I meant me, because I wanted to just be involved.
Right.
And then I remember getting off that first steering committee and being like, I love it here. Like, I want to help and do. And I think the last two conferences before you left, I volunteered and just was in
Hmm.
the space and doing things.
Yeah.
And then when Daryl called me that day and asked if I'd step in as vice president, I was like, me? Why me? I was like, I legit just started this business. And he even said, like, I know you just
I
started your
know.
business. I know. And but it was like one of those things where I was like, I'm not saying no to this. Like I
Yeah.
am saying yes and I will figure it out. And then I remember you and I talking, and one thing that you said that I always remember is like the intention of this is also for this to be good for Roots and Rain too. Like it isn't for you to take this on, which I think was very important to hear early on. Like the
Hmm.
expectation wasn't for you to shrink and then make SB, CFC your whole life. Like it
Right.
is for you to kind of do both, but it kind of helped Roots and Rain, which it did. I mean, honestly,
Great.
I say I own Roots and Rain and I'm the vice president of the Black Farmers Coalition all in the same set. Like that's part of my pitch, you know?
That's beautiful.
It's extremely important to me that people know that. And it's something that
Mhm.
I prayed for, even though I didn't know exactly what I was praying for and how it would turn out.
Yeah.
Like this group, these people, all of it just, it feels like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. I
Oh,
never
it feels like yes.
yeah,
I love
it feels like
that.
yes. It
I
just feels
love
like
that.
it's not hard. It's hard work, but it's not draining work. Because I mean,
Mm.
the people, and as you know, the people who we work with in this space are just some of the most dynamic,
Yes.
transparent, loving people. If they have, you have, vice versa. Like I always
Yep.
feel like, oh man, that was great. I wish I saw them more. You know.
And every time, right? Every time.
Every
Can I hang out
time.
with them more? Oh, this meeting is too short.
It's
Every
the
time.
conference was one day, and I was like, oh, that could have been
Oh,
3 days.
it's not enough time.
It's
Oh,
never enough. And
it's
so
never enough
to
time.
get back to your question, it's just like I think because I care about it so much and it's so important to me, I just do them in tandem, you know. I
Yeah.
have it on my calendar what days are dedicated to the Black Farmers Coalition, what
Okay.
hours are dedicated to the Black Farmers Coalition, what time is dedicated to Roots and Rain.
Hmm.
I braid together, connections and opportunities that would work well for both of us
Yes.
when those times kind of present itself. And like I said, I just take so much pride in it. And I know I'm not going to do it forever. One day somebody else will come in and lead that space. But like for now, and it goes back to like, these farmers who pay their, membership and are leaning heavy on us
Yes.
to be advocates, policy changers, all of the to show up for them, consistently and accurately. Like I'll do it for them every day. So it's very important that I take this just as seriously as Roots and Rain. It's important for my farmers, the membership, but it's also important for the people that I serve with because they
Yeah.
were doing it before I came along.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know Brother Daryl's trying to retire, but I'm like, not quite yet.
Bless his heart, he really is.
Where are you going?
He really is. But oh my goodness, I really am I'm so encouraged to hear you say what I had hoped. I hoped that this was going to be a wonderful thing that you could leverage for your
Mhm.
consultancy and for the coalition. And I love that it feels like yes. And I really appreciate how you're able to, because you're your boss, you can say this, first of all, this is what I want to do. It's priority
Right,
for me. This is what I love, so I'm going to do it. And
right.
in order to make it work for me, here's when I can do it and where I can do it. That's the luxury of autonomy. You can
Yes.
show up in these ways in these spaces that matter to you in
Mhm.
the way that you need to, and it not feel draining and not
Never.
feel like it is so much of a heavy lift. And at the same time, you are doing a heavy lift. You are, but it doesn't feel that way
Mm-mm.
because it matters to you. Oh, that is so encouraging and so delightful. Um, so you talked a little bit about boundaries and how you make sure, you know, you measure this time and 4 o'clock and we're stopping with the grind. Any other pieces about boundaries that are just non-negotiable for you with this new era that you're in right now? What
And
else is
this new Kiki.
non-negotiable? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I think basically I think when we work for other organizations, we take on a lot of what they say it's going to be, how they say it's going to be, a lot of their energy that we don't really want. And
Mhm.
so I think for me, it was just important to create a space that feels good to me. And so, like I said, it goes back to not attaching myself to everything because not everything is good, not saying yes because of the dollar sign because it doesn't align with my mission. I'm very particular about, yes, it's great money, but does it align with the mission? Because if it doesn't, then we're off focus. And so, I've been very particular about that. Like, oh, that sounds great, but like that's not what we're doing here. And I feel like that's what I've seen some in some organizations over time is that they're going after that big pot of money and they'll make the program, but they'll figure it out down the line. That to me doesn't feel genuine because it feels like I'm checking a box for myself for the finance, but I'm not really caring about the what happens next. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, where do I leave my farmers after this workshop, this conversation, this project? And
right.
so, like I said, it's my way. It may not be the way that some people feel like it should be done. Like build that cash stack up and you know what I mean? So you could chill, but that's not what this is about. I only need a certain amount to be able to provide for my family and live. And
Right.
then the rest is, if we get extra great. If we don't, that's okay too. Like this is not what this is about. And
Right.
so just remembering that, staying very grounded in my word and the Bible, remembering that, I was reading this morning Judges 19 through 21, and one thing that stuck out was like everybody was losing their mind and nobody was consulting God. And I was like, this is what leadership looks like without without going to God, in my
With some
opinion,
guide, right?
with some guidance. And we see that very prevalent in our world today. Like we are, and this is a world without boundaries, as you know.
Right.
There's
Right.
not a line they won't cross. And
Right.
so you know, I just think like who I am, what I tend to represent, I'm not willing to bend on that. And I feel like we bend a lot when we work for other organizations.
Sure.
We shrink a lot. We feel stuck and, whatever that it is, insert here. And that's just why it's just very important, even the privacy, I'm not telling other farmers such and such's business. People don't know what's going on in the leadership with Black Farmers Coalition because that is not a public thing,
Right.
like I hold things very, very close and guarded,
Mhm.
because that is how I want to move. I'm not selling my
Right.
soul for a check. I'm not selling my soul to be spotlighted. this is for intentional purposes. And so I think that is just the overall arching boundary that I'm putting out there.
And what a terrific boundary. What an affirming for yourself and for the people that you're serving. Because I hear you say, listen, all money isn't good money. And
Mm-mm.
I don't need all the money. And I know that a lot of the farmers that you serve think the same way. That's why they don't put a whole lot of pesticides in that aren't necessary. That's why they don't
Right,
do a whole lot of these things because they're not just in it for making money. It's
right,
to sustain themselves and their families and their communities. And yeah, they want to make a profit, but that's not the number one driving factor. And it seems
right.
like there's this wonderful alignment between where you are in your business and the folks that you're serving, and sort of this
Mhm.
whole I'm not bending and shrinking. My goodness, the shape shifting that we have to do sometimes to
It's
fit in the
insane.
spaces that were not crafted for us is
It's that in itself is draining. Like that in itself is draining. Hearing some things that you're like, I can't believe they said that out loud. Like I'm
yeah.
sitting here and I can't
I'm right
believe they
here. I'm right here. Right.
and it's, they don't hear me, they don't see me.
They won't even
Um,
see me.
am I on? Because I feel
Is
like
this is on? Is this on?
exactly. I feel that way. And it's just, and that is why it's so important for the Black Farmers Coalition, especially to remain a staple because we are creating what we control. We are controlling what we create.
Come
We
on.
are building the tables. We
Come
are
on.
having the conferences. We are doing things that are for us. I don't mean to FUBU here, but for us, by us.
Hey, we don't have a problem with FUBU. FUBU had it right.
Had
Okay.
it
We
right.
need some FUBU.
Exactly. Like that is what we are doing with
Yeah.
that intentionality space. And like we said recently in a past meeting, no, it's not overnight success. It's not fast.
No.
We are stacking this thing literally one brick at a time.
Yep.
But when we get to a point, not that it's done, but when we're at that next transition phase, that next season, it's like, look what we did.
Yeah.
Look what we've leveraged.
Mm.
We pray to do a fellowship program this year
Look
and
at
bring
that.
in some more young people and get people excited,
Yeah.
about what their career looks like. Because it doesn't have to look like a four-year school if it doesn't fit you. Farming
Yeah.
doesn't have to be you outside if you don't like the heat. You
Right.
can be very dynamic in this space in so
So
many
many
other
opportunities.
ways.
So many opportunities. So many different things you can do.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that fellowship and all of the things that are coming, this kind of next level. We had this conversation. I was like, Keisha, you gotta take this thing to the next level. It's next level time for this
Ooh,
coalition. And hello. Uh,
goosebumps.
yes, we will manifest things around here,
Yes. Yes.
QueenSiS. So that's amazing. It sounds just terrifically aligned. And
Mhm.
I want to, before we get into our closing question, ask you that, like, do you feel aligned now? Do you feel like
Oh, it's a break, Najma. It's like sometimes I look at me and I'm like, girl, who are you? Like,
who even
where
are you?
have
Who
you
is
been?
this? Who is
You know,
this?
I oh my God, we just meet so many different versions of ourselves. And I wish at a time in my life when I didn't have all of this confidence and I was going through certain things and I could tell myself, like, girl, like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. And like, I don't want people to hear this podcast and think, oh, she's crushing it, she's killing it. Every day is bright and sunny. No, it rains. It rains, it gets tight at times, it gets frustrating at times. There are times where I question, like, not if I should be doing this, but basically just question, like, am I continuing doing this the right way? Am I still
Hmm.
showing, like, just checking in with myself to make
Sure.
sure and doing that reflection piece. And so, like, yes, I feel really aligned though, because every day I'm like, it's a new day and I get to do it how I want to do it. And I'm really looking forward to this project. And people keep saying to me, like, you are legit everywhere. Every time I turn around, there you are. And I said, I just want, you know, that people say, like, prepare to be sick of me? Prepare to be sick of me. Because
Mhm.
if it means
I'm here.
I'm here. And if it means showing up so I can take this information and then take it back to the people who need it, or look at the program and say, this doesn't really fit our people, but I know we can make something similar and do it this way. If it means, you know, there's so many entrepreneurs who started around the same time that I did. And I
Hmm.
don't think that that was by mistake. I think we all kind of took the same leap of faith.
Yep.
And now we're just plugging each other in to, like, oh, what you're doing here, we're going to use you. We're going to use your service, your farm. We're going to elevate within and build within. And I think that's what makes me so excited about being aligned. It's like, it's not just about what I'm doing and the steps that I've made, but it's all these other people who've taken a
Hmm.
step at the same time, all these people who've been in this space and who are making changes, right? They're not
Yep.
going to every event, they're not serving everybody. You know, I
Right.
love Cece because she's like, this coffee truck, you're gonna come here to me
Come on up.
this
This right
season.
here.
You're gonna
Make
come
your
here.
way.
And if you want the truck, you go pay. Like I just love there's a vibrance in all of us, even when administration changes and laws
Yes.
change and funding gets cut. Like
Disappears.
disappears.
Just
You know,
completely
to try
evaporate.
to completely stifle us. You know,
Uh-huh.
and that's what it was. I'm not even gonna
Yes.
get on that
Yep.
soapbox, but
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like, but
I
it just
do.
it reminds me that, like, we are all doing this, and and how excited I am about it now versus 5 years from now, Lord willing. I just hope I can just come back to this space,
Hmm.
this interview moment, and go, look what we did.
Oh, we're gonna check in with you. We'll be checking in with you yearly, if not more often, because I love the look back. I love the look back, and
Mhm.
I appreciate you have described a sort of internal micro level alignment, but
Yeah.
also a macro external level alignment that is working beautifully. And that's the kind of that's how we're able to be this kind of quote unquote magical when we Jill has unbunked magic for us for all
Yes,
intents and purposes. She
love
has
that.
set black girl magic down. But what like this is an example, I think, of turning that magic on yourself and saying, wait a minute, this is what I like to do. This is what I do well. This is what I can be compensated appropriately for doing. And here's how
Right.
I'm going to show up in that space. And I know all of these people and all of these different circles, and they are doing the same things. And we are going to link up come what may. So,
Exactly. And and it's just one of those things too, is like when you realize that your worth is not attached to an organization. Like, a promotion can't make you who you are, right? Like it's you. Like you are the prize. It doesn't matter where you are on the chain. You are the prize. You are the tool that you can use however you feel necessary. And I think that is the key there, is realizing that your worth is so much bigger when you realize that, tap into that, but then also making sure you build and get into those networks like the Black Farmers Coalition. We are accepting memberships, shameless plug.
hello, plug
Because
away.
this just gonna plug it in. It's a life, it's a different way you look at life and how you approach each day. And I
Hmm.
feel really good in my 30s, walking into my 40s, and I'm excited about what's to come.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is a beautiful segue into our closing question because closing questions because I want to ask you, what are you working on right now that brings you the most joy and excitement? What are you looking forward to? So expand on that a little bit.
I'm very excited to be a part of the Wells Fargo Innovation Grant with SBDC and SCRA, and of course Wells Fargo, and contracted out with USC to be able to do that work. And that's very exciting, especially because it's up to 30,000 for these farmers. No strings attached, no funny business, no hoops to jump through. And I
Thank
hope
you.
right. And I hope we knock it out of the park and we get it again. I'm just very
Yes.
privileged to be a part of something like that and even asked to be, a part of that work. And then that's a Roots and Rain thing. And then on the other side, I'm very excited about the coalition. We are planning a multi-day conference, save the date coming soon, October 1st through the 3rd. And I'm excited about the people who've reached out, who want to partner, who want to sponsor already. And so I'm really looking forward to just elevating that. And then hoping everything works out with this fellowship. That fellowship is gonna be something I'm really excited to bring to the coalition. And I feel like not only is it going to help us in our capacity space for a little bit, but it just will help us bring somebody else into this space and teach them in a different dynamic way that feels impactful and meaningful and feels
Yeah.
like it gives them purpose. I want people to I feel like everybody should find their purpose in life because it's such a it feels
Yes.
so good when you're like, oh, this is what I'm
What I'm
supposed to
supposed to
do.
do.
And it could change, but I'm just saying, like, find it and love it and lean into it. So, yeah, those are the things I'm just looking forward to. And of course, always looking forward to spring and summer because the farms are open. They are come visit us, come eat it off the vine. And that is my jam.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm ditto, second, all of those emotions. And there's no such thing as a shameless plug on the Day Clean Devotion Queen podcast. We are all about plugging. So
Plug
go
it.
ahead, tell the listeners and the viewers where they can link up to join the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition, where they can get connected with you, drop all of the info. And I will also include it in the notes.
Yes, so please visit www.rootsrain, roots with an S.org if you just want to just learn more about what I do. Don't hesitate to send a contact form. I'll always email you back if you just want to jump on a meet in the chat or just share yours. I love hearing other people's experiences and what they're going through and just connecting in that way. So please reach out. Roots and Rain on Instagram. It's on Facebook. Find me. It's www.scblackfarmers.com. Run, don't walk. Go get your membership. We will start membership Mondays back in February. We're going to be doing workshops. We've got conferences. Um, and like I said, this is a dynamic group of people who are doing multiple things. They have their own farms, they have their own businesses, but they are dedicated to this group. And so I encourage you, if you're looking for a network and you feel like I just need people to lean on, or I just want to start this farming thing, or whatever it is, come, join us. I don't even care if you're not in the state. If you just
You just love
come.
South Carolina Black
If you
farmers.
just want to love, you know what I mean? Because we might come to your city, and we might, conference it. We don't know how big this thing is gonna get.
I
So
want to.
yeah, any of those places you can find us, and I just can't wait to connect with more people this year.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for dropping that and y'all listening and viewing. All you have to do is scroll down. You're going to see the links to all of these wonderful organizations Keisha just talked about. Keisha's been really a fantastic time checking in with you, catching up with you, getting some of that boss energy that it feels like, yes. If you could leave our DD community one thing, one truth about this season in life, what would it be?
I think the one thing I would leave is do it for yourself. Do it the way that you want to do it. Find your people who believe in what you want to do and lock out the negativity, lock out people who say you can't, lock out people who said that's never been done before. Well, great. It's even more reason. There are 1,000 contractors out here and consultants who do exactly what I do. I don't care anything about that because, like I said, I'm not going for the masses. So do it for yourself because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to take a little piece for yourself and grow whatever business you want to grow, homeschool if you want to homeschool, whatever your venture is, do it for yourself. Why not? You know what I mean? And it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to feed the masses. Don't say, well, somebody else is doing that, so I can't. Do it for yourself. And because you are allowed to do things for yourself, you're allowed to rest, you're allowed to say no. You know what I mean? You're allowed to take risks, safe risks. Don't, do anything too crazy, but don't say Keisha said, but
Keisha say I should.
Keisha said I should sell this house and no, don't do nothing crazy, but do it for yourself. You owe
Yeah,
it to yourself to give back a little bit, especially as women, we give a lot. I don't, we
we do.
we overdo. We care about the people we that are in our circle. And so we sometimes forget about ourselves. I feel like the biggest thing I'm always good at keeping commitments to other people. I've had
Mhm.
to learn how to keep commitments to myself. I think Jill hit on that recently in y'all's last podcast. And so I think that's extremely important. So do it for yourself. That's what I would say.
That is such a fantastic parting piece, and it's affirming for me, and so I'm taking it. And I know listeners, viewers out there, you're taking a little bit for yourself as well. But remember, sharing is caring. If
Yes.
you were inspired, encouraged by this conversion conversation, and I know that you were, don't keep it all to yourself. Do it for yourself, but also do it for someone else. Share it, share the link.
Share.
And Keisha, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much for sharing with us all of the good things to you in this season. I will be running to update my membership when we log off, and I will be seeing you in the field, literally and figuratively.
Literally. Well,
I
I
will
thank
be
you. I
in
thank you for this space. I thank you for the path that you've carved out for the Black Farmers Coalition, that vice president role. I knew I was taking and filling some really huge shoes. So I thank you for trusting me and leaning into me and giving me great words of advice and just always being a beautiful sister that I love seeing.
Oh, we love this. We love it. Thank you, everyone. Have an incredible rest of your week. And until next time, this is DDQ signing off.